questions often betray intentions as much as do answers. In our third story in the countdown, what the Fox Noise channel has now embraced is the tactic known as push polling, in which a political party tries to influence opinion with the question. Fox Noise also wants to know in its latest poll whether its ploy to bring hard-charging, unrelenting bias to the Democratic primary debates has been uncovered. This after the Democratic Party had recently canceled a Nevada debate that Fox was to host and co-sponsor this August. The notion had brought criticism from some Democrats as well as organizations like MoveOn.org. Now the Congressional Black Caucus Institute has agreed to co-sponsor with Fox both Democratic and Republican primary debates, dismissing disputes over ideology and incurring the disagreement of Jesse Jackson. Thus, to this most recent Fox Noise Opinion Dynamics poll, which asks the usual questions about the usual suspects, President Bush and Congress, for instance. But then this, almost buried, way down in question number 34. Do you think a television network that is hosting a presidential debate can influence the outcome of that debate? 65% of respondents answered yes, 28% said no. We can only guess if Fox Noise executives are secretly pleased with that number. Next poll question. If a political party agrees to participate in debates by one network but refuses another, is it fair to say that the party is picking the network it believes is more aligned with its views and so would ask easier questions during the debate? 66% said yes. But the response that is most predictable comes after the long, rabid setup in a long question number 36, which ends with, do you think the Democratic Party should allow a grassroots organization like MoveOn.org to take it over, or it should resist this type of takeover? Not surprisingly, a takeover sounded like a bad idea to most of the respondents. Joining me now, the host of the Rachel Maddow Show on Air America, Rachel Maddow. Thanks for your time tonight, Rachel.
Hi, Keith. Thanks for having me.
With this polling ostensibly from a news organization, even though it's Fox, has even Fox entered into new territory here?
Well, Fox, for all of its faults, does reach millions of people on television, and it seems a little desperate and weird that they would resort to using their poll to try to advance their message as well. But it seems like that's what they've done. This is a push poll. They're trying to get this message that they're trying to spread, this anti-democratic message, anti-left message, across to their poll participants. I think they're also doing a little bit of message testing here, saying if we go after MoveOn.org this way, or Bill Clinton this way, or some other typical left target for us this way, how will people respond to it? I think it's just another way that they're testing their very specific, very narrowly ideological message.
So the complaints about Fox hosting this Democratic primary, the debates anyway, have been along these lines. Why allow a virtual propaganda arm of the Republican Party to get yet another solid crack at Democrats under the guise not only of news, but of a news event? Granted, there are daily on-air examples of the agenda at Fox, but don't these poll questions, somewhat ironically against that backdrop, kind of nail down the idea that there is bias in this coverage?
Right. If there was ever any doubt that Fox should not be legitimized as if it is a news organization, then let it be that they're using their polling arm even as a way of advancing a very narrowly ideological anti-democratic message. I mean, I think that the Democratic Party is stupid to allow Fox to host its debates. I really do. I feel like the Democratic Party, if it wants its candidates to get their message across, they'd be better off having the candidates debate in mime or something. Trying to do it on Fox is like, it's as if they're having the Republican Party host their debates. It's just not a smart move.
Do the poll questions show something about the network in question, that the powers that be over there are taking this fight against some aspects of the Democratic Party seriously, that they no longer dismiss it as just the far left, accusing them of being a propaganda machine, that the anti-Fox righteous indignation has actually gotten some traction?
I think that's actually the most interesting element of all of this. I feel like for the past 6 months or so, we've started to see a little bit of a tension arise at Fox, and that I almost feel like they might be ready. They might be moving toward dropping the ruse, dropping the facade, and admitting that they're not a normal news organization, admitting that they are, in fact, a mouthpiece for a specific ideological way of looking at the world, that they are there, and their reason for being is to denounce non-Republicans as the cowards we all are. And I think you start to see some of this tension, for example, in Rupert Murdoch's public statements recently, when he's admitted, for example, that Fox News did try to gin up support for the Iraq War. I think that they might be moving moving toward maybe putting quotation marks around the word news, for example, in their name. But they're not quite there yet, and they do still have to do news-ish stuff like trying to get to host debates. I think it's an internal tension at Fox.
And if that happens, 27 viewers around the country will just be shocked by that whole idea. But there are like 350 employees over there at Fox Noise who would be shocked, and that's one of the curious things about it. But what I want to know is this. If you question looking at the motives of the party in the poll, is this trying to turn the thing on its head? In other words, if the party doesn't choose us, it's because of its own bias or the bias of those other networks. It's not because of a bias at Fox News. That's a fascinating bit of rationalization, isn't it?
Right. And they're trying to say there's something wrong with the Democratic Party that they wouldn't want to appear on Fox. That was really the right-wing talking point in response when the Democrats initially called off that first Nevada debate that was supposed to be hosted by Fox. Oh, there's something wrong with the Democratic Party that they won't do this. Well, you know, when the Fox Noise channel has in the past hosted Democratic debates, they've done things like put banners above the Democratic candidates that say Democrat candidate debates, like all but putting up a giant inflatable rat next to them. I mean, it's Fox that is the problem here, not the Democratic Party. But this is a push poll, and they're trying to create that impression with the polling.
Yeah, question number 49, which they did not run, was, are the Democrats showing bias by not nominating Hugo Chavez?
Yes.
Rachel Maddow, the host of the Rachel Maddow Show on Air America, as always, great. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Keith.